Good morning, third grade. Today you are going to start planning your own PSA. Yesterday you looked at some PSAs that from over time about different subjects that people just made a short commercial about to explain a situation, a problem, and the ways that they are encouraging people to help out in some way. And this goes with our guiding question about how do people convince others to take action to contribute to a better world. And a PSA is a way that does that. PSA stands for Public Service Announcement. This is something that you are going to show a variety of people to help them to take that knowledge that you earned about the water issues that we have and turn it into something that's actually going to make some change and improve something. So yesterday you looked at some examples, and today you're going to do some planning. So you're going to have your page 97, and I know that's kind of hard to see. I hope I don't screw everything up when I do this. So you're going to look through that there, and you are going to make sure that you are thinking about what you want to talk about. Now, so a public service announcement is like a speech. And so there are some things that we're going to follow, some criteria that we're going to follow. So as we're planning, we're going to think about following these sort of ideas. So the first one is it needs to be high quality. It needs to look professional so people take it seriously. If you're making a commercial, you're not just going blah, 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 and talking and being silly. You need to look serious and sound serious. You need to describe the issue. If you want somebody to care about it, you really need to make an impression that you know about it and that you think it's something that they should need to know about too. You urge the viewer to take action. You're going to come up with some suggestions that ways they can take action, and you're going to really impress upon them that they need to do this. It also needs to be engaging. The viewer wants to watch it to the end and will remember it and will want to make some sort of change in their behavior to go along with it. So when you're thinking about what you're going to do for your PSA, you are going to possibly use some resources. Resources that you could possibly use are your essay. You could go back to your essay and use some of the information from that. It's still a Google Doc, still available to you. You could also use all of your note catchers. You do not need to choose the same subject as you did for your essay. So if you wish to chose one thing and you really want to focus on something else, that's totally fine. Use your note catchers, however, to help you come up with the information you're planning on using in your PSA. So this, and the other thing is, these are just notes that you're going to take on your organizer. These are not things that you're going to read directly from, because we know that when we're trying to tell somebody some information, if we just read from a piece of paper, it's super boring and it does not look like we know what we're talking about, and it also sometimes is distracting when somebody's just reading. So you need to talk to it from the heart. So when you choose an issue, you're going to choose one of the three or a combination of them if you wish. And you're going to think about who's your target audience. Who are you really talking to here? Are you talking to children, young adults, or adults? So in this case, we are going to be choosing all three, because we're going to be sharing these flip grids with some fifth graders, and have the fifth graders be able to learn something from all the information you learned. And you're also going to possibly share it with young adults and adults. We are going to be sharing these with other people that we're trying to influence the world. So we are going to be giving this link of Flipgrid to others. And so you want to look good because you might be sharing it with, say, a grandparent, or you might be sharing it with an aunt or a pen pal or a cousin or somebody who's not even near here. And that is going to be part of your assignment next week. So you are going to really try to focus in on all of those. So I'm going to go ahead and stick to my essay. I'll use the idea for my essay because that's probably easier for you guys to understand, and then my note catcher that goes along with that. And I'm going to choose access to water. I still want to focus on the fact that we need help for access to water. So when you're looking at your note catcher, you see here is our problem, and how the key details, the key points about the issue. So we know it's access to water. So my first one says farmers, not enough water to grow crops. So I'm going to go ahead and put that, but I'm going to keep that in mind that I am not using this to read from. I'm using this to remind me of what I'm going to talk about. So I don't even have to write complete sentences. Not enough water for crops. That's even shorter than what I already had as my notes for my organizer. All right, so then I think about next one. Okay, so number 2, what else is the problem? Access to water. Well, people have to walk sometimes to get water. And then I can give some more information about that during my actual PSA. I can explain that sometimes it takes a minimum of 15 minutes for people to walk there, that it takes, so I might even give myself a minimum of 15 minutes to walk there. Sometimes it takes hours to get there and back. And then I'm also going to, and maybe about how heavy the buckets are. And then I'm also going to talk, according to my organizer, it says some of the water's dirty and makes them sick. So I could say water dirty makes sick. And I can even remind myself to talk about, that school, that takes them away from school, and that girls have to take care of siblings sometimes. I'm just going to write down just a couple of words. Again, these are notes to help me remember what I'm going to say during my PSA. I'm not going to read these. I'm just going to use it as some notes. So then I want to, obviously, a PSA is telling them a problem and I want to talk about how I'm going to solve it. So here in this area here, I have some ways that I was going to solve that problem. You probably have more than you need in some of these areas. And so you're just going to pick the ones you think will be the easiest for someone to do, or the ones that will make the most impact. So I'm going to say in mine, raise money. And then and who are they doing it for? UNICEF and Ryan's Well. Those are organizations that would help that. And then number 2, I'm going to, how could I raise money? What could I do? I could have a lemonade stand. I could have a bake sale. I could have a hat day. That sounds familiar. I could even donate my allowance. I could give them a whole bunch of lists. I can tell them which ones, that I think would make the most money. I can add information in like that. And the last one, my last thing is to tell others. Tell your brothers, tell your sisters, tell your grandma and grandpa. Maybe I don't want a birthday present this year. I'd rather you donate some money to this organization. Tell others, about the issue. And this is ways they can help out. All right, so what you are going to do now is you are going to take out your workbook on page 97. You're going to decide which issue that you want to focus on. You're going to use all your target audiences, and then you're going to use all of that work that we did to it could be possibly, again, your essay, and could be a lot of your note catchers. And think about when you're writing it out, what is going to urge the viewer to take action? What are those ways that the viewer can really make an impact? So get those done, and then tomorrow you are going to use this to go ahead and make a commercial or a PSA, public service announcement, on Flipgrid for the 5th graders and for some of your some other important people in your life to watch. So do well on this so it'll be easier for Flipgrid. All right, we will see you tomorrow.